What's up, you? For today's video, we're full Super Luck Ability Pokemon Team. Samurai Yeet, this one is for you. So there's only a few Pokemon that have this ability, and a couple of them, the Murkrow and Honchkrow, aren't even in Sword and Shield. So we've got 7 Pokemon to choose from. Now, what Super Luck does, it increases the critical hit ratio by 1 stage of 3. So you got to try and make some other critical hit strategies. If you want your own custom theme team or Pokemon sweep, you can check it out at patreon.com/PimpGuy, tier 2 and above. Links in the description of the video there, and Pokemon sweeps and all that sort of stuff too. Okay, first battle, this is against EV Loveheart, and we've got a Flygon lead. Now, I tried to get as many sets to get critical hits as possible, but I didn't just want to put Scope Lens on all 6 Pokemon, so I come up with some interesting strategies. So we got a Choice Banded, U-Turn, Steel Wing Fly, and Quick Attack Pidove. I think this might be the very, very first time I've used Pidove in a theme team before. I could be wrong, but I believe I'm right. So this is a Jolly Nature set. Sorry, it's an Adamant Nature, Max Health and Max Attack. Now, I didn't give it any critting items or moves at all because it didn't really have any apart from the other ones that I've used. So it's quite interesting to see if I could get a crit just with Super Luck. So going for a fly here, look at that. That was amazing. And Dragalge is going to come in here, and it takes a pretty good quality hit. So now it's going to be a physical Dragalge set, and I tanked that very well. Must have been those Max Health EVs. So going for a fly again, since I'm locked into fly on Pidove there. Look at this amazing animation. Unfortunately, I got counted right off the bat here because of that Protect. So that was really, really unfortunate because I felt like I would have got close to, maybe taking it out. Now, people, if you do enjoy the theme teams and, of course, the videos, please drop a like there. It helps me out a lot and helps you out, too, because you can see the videos in your subscriptions box. So that's the end of Pidove. Unfortunately, it got countered by Protect, but it did some really, really good quality damage there. Next Pokemon is going to be Absol. Of course, Absol had to be on this team. We're going to be running a special set here. So we've got Focus Energy with the Super Luck, making it 100% crit. Dark Pulse, Future Sight, and Fire Blast. This is a pretty interesting set. It doesn't really hit all that hard, but it's got some pretty fun coverage. The item I gave the Absol was Expert Bell, so any fighting types you could go Max Mindstorm against. So we got Play Rough coming from Dragalge. I find that really, really interesting that gets Play Rough. Like, it's just interesting. But, it's typing and stuff like that, being a Poison type and a Dragon type. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to go for Dynamax Absol. I definitely don't think they'll, be expecting a Psychic type move. And this will be pretty powerful, right? So Dynamax Absol's got a very nice shiny too. I like the white and red. Looks really, really nice. The EV spread and, of course, the nature for Absol. It's got Timid Nature, and it's got Max Speed and Max Special Attack. So, yeah, there's the EV spread. So now the Dragon is going to go for a Protect there. Watch this. You wouldn't read about it. So I went for a Max Mindstorm, but it's got like a Papaya Berry, and that actually powers down super effective Psychic moves. So it was Protect and that on top of it. I was like, man, I did like no damage, but I got a crit though, so, it was amazing. So look at that damage there. I've got the Psychic Terrain now happening on the field now, so I could go for a Max Mindstorm again. There was like the Papaya Berry? I'm not sure. Papaya Berry? I'm not really sure how to say it. It's a berry that drops, the damage to a super effective Psychic attack. So I'm going to go for a Max Mindstorm here. Dragalge doesn't go for a second Protect, and that is going to be the end of it. So that's good. I'm really glad that I actually had a Psychic type move on that. So I got a critical hit too, which is, pretty nice. I haven't used Focus Energy or anything like that. Just my Super Luck, raw Super Luck ability. So in comes Flygon. It's popped the Bug Buzz, and it's going to take my Absol. I was like, man, a special Flygon. All right. Fair enough. So that's the end of my Absol, but at least I got rid of one Pokemon, so it wasn't a complete waste. Next Pokemon I'm going to bring is Togetic. This is probably my most favorite set on this team. Watch this. So we got a physical Togetic. We got Focus Punch, Last Resort, Curse, and Roost. Now, the EV spread is like the Pidove. It's Max Health and Max Attack. And I've got Everlight as the item, and of course Super Luck as the ability. Now, Sky Attack has a higher crit chance there. So with Sky Attack, sorry, I don't have Sky Attack on this one. I got Focus Punch. Oh, that's what I was thinking. I was actually beginning to give it Sky Attack, but I thought if I want Curse and Sky Attack on the same set, I need to drop one of them. So I decided to drop the Sky Attack and give it Focus Punch again. I thought it'd be pretty cool. So Flygon's going to go for Fly here, and it does nothing because I've got a Curse Togetic. And with the Everlight, it's very, very bulky, as you know. But yes, as I mentioned before, I was thinking about Sky Attack, but I wanted to use Curse, so I thought the Focus Punch could be really funny. and see what I can do. So we got the Psychic Terrain disappearing from the field. It's going to change everything. And now we got the Boom Burst coming from the Flygon. So Flygon is like a mix set, which is pretty cool. I just used this opportunity to set up like Curse because I had a lot of them set up. Now, since I've seen pretty much all of Flygon's moves, I had a little thought, like, I feel like the opponent's going to swap here, so I think I might go for Focus Punch, because I'll be able to tighten my focus on the swap and then fire off a massive Focus Punch. Watch this, you'll probably never ever see this again. So when comes Goodra, which is quite good, I can go for a Focus Punch, tighten my focus, and now I'm going to go first, and I'm going to hit the Goodra with a Focus Punch. Look at this, I one-shotted Goodra in one shot, which was good, and I got the crit from Super Luck, and yeah, that was a KO. Man, that Goodra like never saw that one coming right. Next Pokemon is Guzzlord, which isn't all that bad either, but the problem is with Focus Punch, I got to tighten my focus too. One thing about Focus Punch, what do you think of this? I believe this might be a good mechanic for Generation 9. Why Dynamax, Shiny Guzzlord Dynamax, right? Really cool Pokemon. When you have the ability Inner Focus, I reckon if you use the move Focus Punch, you shouldn't lose your focus if you get hit by a move. What do you think? I actually think I don't think that's too broken either, because you still got to wait 2 turns, and I think it's a cool little mechanic for the move Focus Punch. Maybe you get a couple more Pokemon to use it. What do you think? I think that's really cool. So we got a Max Steel Spike coming from Guzzlord. Now that's, at this stage, like, well, it's probably Heavy Slam. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go for Roost, because I've got plans to go for Last Resort. Now, to go for Last Resort, I need to use all 3 of my other moves, as I swapped it in. So I've still got, I've still got like a couple of turns here on the Dynamax. So Guzzlord's gone for a Max Knuckle, so any fighting type move, I don't really know. It could be like a number of them. So I decided to keep going for Roost and Roost and Roost. And then when Guzzlord exited its Dynamax, I could then go for our Last Resort. Last Resort's got some good base power too. And, if I can get a Super Light crit, that'll be really good. So, we got another Max Knuckle from the Guzzlord there. So, I figured they'd probably try and set up another Max Knuckle here because their attacks did, virtually no damage. So, I decided to go for Curse here too. So, I've got another boost in attack and another boost in defense. It's like, well, the only thing I reckon I'll probably leave 2 Heavy Slams. I want to say 2, right? But, Togetic's a very small Pokemon. So, Guzzlord's a, quite a big Pokemon there. So, there's a big weight difference. So, all right. So, we're going to go for a Last Resort now. I'm primed and ready. And Guzzlord actually turned out not to have that. And a Gyro Ball is sound like, oh, no, that's not going to do very much. Because I've got all the defense boost, plus I've dropped my speed, so it's going to do nothing. So go for the Last Resort. They're excellent damage without a crit, and now it's going to go for Poison Jab. It's like, okay, this won't do that much, and hardly any damage there, so I can live like another 2. So go for Last Resort here on the Guzzlord, and it was almost enough to take it out. Unfortunately, Super Luck did not kick in here, and now Guzzlord's going to go for its final Poison Jab, and it crits me. So I meant that the Super Luck ability team, but I got critted instead. Why does that not surprise me? So bye-bye Togetic, I'm salty as heck. Now, Guzzlord is going to receive an attack boost. It's like, oh, I need to take this out real quick. So going to Tranquil. So Pokemon you probably hardly ever see in a battle is Tranquil. We got Night Slash, which already has a crit chance, Dual Wing Beat, Focus Energy, and Facade. The item is going to be Toxic Orb. The EV spread was Jolly Nature, Max Speed, and Max Attack. So this thing is like really hard. So I'm going to dispose of that Guzzlord real quick there and get my Toxic Orb up. So Toxic Orb has to double the base power of Facade, right? Next Pokemon to come in is going to be this Flygon. He goes like, well, let's see how I can actually live this attack. So here comes Boom Burst. I lived it on a 7 health. It was so close. Look at the sweet damage there from Facade. It wasn't a crit, but man, they did some damage. So almost dropping Flygon in one shot. If I got the crit, it would have dropped it easy. I mean, I would have fainted anyway due to the Toxic, so I was on such a low amount of health, but that was really cool. So we're going to go to Unfezant, which is pretty unpleasant. I've got a special set. This is Air Cutter, which has a crit chance. We've got Heat Wave for Steel types, Focus Energy, and Work Up. I've got Scope Lens on this set, so I had to run Scope Lens on one of these. So go for the Air Cutter, and that's going to be the end of the Flygon. So with the Air Cutter and the Scope Lens and Super Luck, it's always going to be a crit because each of those things has one stage of crit, which is really cool. Next Pokemon to come in is going to be Como. I was like, okay, well, I can go for 100% crit Air Cutter, which is going to be pretty cool. As long as it doesn't miss. That's the only thing about Air Cutter. It can be a little bit dodgy in accuracy. So now Como's going to go for Toxic. I'm like, okay, this is an interesting set. I want, maybe it's some sort of like really tanky stalling set. I don't really know at the moment. I actually did a Jangmo Evolution team very recently. So go for the Air Cutter. Excellent damage there. And of course, getting the crit. Now, Como, I thought, oh, it's got weakness policy, damn. But it didn't have weakness policy. It had leftovers. Like, okay, fair enough. Well, the next set should be able to take it out or get extremely close. Now, the Como will be able to outspeed me, but I'm confident. I even was going to go for a work up there, but I thought, just in case it's going to have like an attacking move, I won't, and it's going to go for body press. So I'm glad I didn't go for work up because I would have wasted that set. It would have taken me out the next. So that's going to be the end of the Como there to the Air Slash, not the Air Slash, the Air Cutter. I think a lot of people forget about Air Cutter. They use Air Slash instead. I guess it's not as accessible and probably not quite as good, but it's actually it's pretty good in doubles. Next Pokemon is called Pimpnite, #Pimpnite. It actually wasn't a shiny Dragonite. I'm quite happy about that, which most people try to roast me with a shiny one, that Pickle Dragonite. So anyway, it's going to go for a Dragonance. I'm thinking, oh no, this is very bad. So things I need to do here is break the multi-scale straight up. I mean, I'd say it's got multi-scale, so doing only a little bit of damage there, which is fine. That's all good. That's all I want to do. Now, unfortunately here, there's no point in me swapping because I'm going to faint in the next turn. Like, let's go for another Air Slash. The Tailwind is now gone, and I think they're just going to Dragonance again because, it's going to be a free turn. There's no way I can take them out here, even with a crit, which will be a crit. So Dragonite is going to get 2 Dragonance up here, which is very bad because Dragonite's got such a good attack stat, and it's going to outspeed my entire team. So going for Air Cut here, that does a fair bit of damage there, but I believe this Dragonite's like a really like tanky, bulky set. So that's going to be the end of my Unfezant. Actually, I'm trying to think off the top of my head if I've done an Unfezant team with all the types of Unfezants and stuff like that. Anyway, just a little thought. Next Pokemon is going to be Togekiss. This is a big root, nothing like a big root sometimes. A Draining Kiss, Air Slash, Nasty Plot and Baton Pass set. Unfortunately, Dragonite is going to hit me with a dual wing beat, but you wouldn't read about it. I lived the second hit. I was like, man. And now, right, I can give Dragonite a good little kiss here. And since the base bound Draining Kiss is really low and they were running a tanky Dragonite, Togekiss failed to take it out. But look at that suck energy back there. I got like well over half. So Dragonite is going to take me out with the dual wing beat. And that, my friends, is the very first battle. But a very close one there. I was low-key hoping for dual wing beat to miss at the end, but it didn't happen. Thank you, EV, for the battle. And some interesting movesets there. Wait, where's the trainer on the trainer card? It's like a ghost. All right, next battle. This is against Lady Crimson. We haven't had a battle for quite a long time here. And I'll be using pretty obviously exactly the same team. Now, the first Pokemon we got here is going to be Hippopotas, so this is going to be using the sand. And, of course, we got the old faithful Pidove here to try and get a critical win. Now, Pidove was the MVP in all the battles, right? So what I can do here is, like, I can go for... Look, I could go for Fly, but I don't want to do that. Let's go for U-turn. So we're going for U-turn, and I was like, man, that was some damage, and I got a crit. I was like, yes, this is awesome. So Pidove got it super luck crit there. So swapping it out and going into Tranquil. I was a little bit worried about a Rock-type move or an Ice-type move, and it's going to use Rock Slide. So Rock Slide hits me like really hard there, and it's done 3/4 damage to Tranquil. I'm also going to take some damage from the sand, and the Toxic Orb is going to start to poison me. So like, okay, well, I can go for a knockoff here. That'll be good. Sorry, not knockoff. Facade, right? That'll be... I know why I said knockoff for. So Hippopotas is going to swap out there, and we got the Yanmask coming. It'll be good to go for knockoff on that. So Yanmask is going to swap. Maybe that's why I said it for. So Facade is not going to affect the Yanmask because it's a ghost type, and I'm going to take some more Sandstorm and poison damage. So this is going to be my very last turn to do anything to this. This is where I need a knockoff. So I've got Night Slash here, which is going to be great. So hopefully I can get a critical hit with that. So pop in that Night Slash here. And this is pretty cool too. So it's going to, wow, live that really easy. Definitely a bulky Everlight set. I even got a crit too. And we got the Wandering Spirit kicking in. So Yanmask is now going to have super luck. It's like, oh no. So now it's going to set up the Trick Room. And Trick Room is going to make all these... really slow Pokemon go first. So this obviously was a Trick Room team I was facing. So Tranquil is going to faint to the Toxic and the Toxic and Sand, and that's going to be the end of it. Unfortunately, I didn't come out very scathed in this matchup. So going to Pidove here, Yanmask is going to swap out here, right? And then we got the Omanyte coming in. So what I did is I went for Fly, and I was like, Well, Fly's not going to do that much damage to Omanyte. Of course, there we got the stand up, and, Omanyte's going to resist that too. So it's going to go for Scald, outspeed me, of course, under Trick Room. And Fly actually does, like, really, really good damage. I was actually really impressed. Like, of course, it's not very effective. If I got a crit, that would have done well over half. So now it's going to go for a Meteor Beam. It's like, oh, no. I wonder if it's going to Power Herb or not. Most of the time when people use Meteor Beam, they do have a Power Herb to activate it right away. And now it's like, okay, please miss, spare Pit Off, please, spare Pit Off. Here comes the Omanyte's Meteor Beam on Pit Off, and Pit Off gets turned into Pigeon Pie there. I wonder if anyone's ever had Pigeon Pie. So that's the end of little Pit Off there. Absolutely a unit though. Next Pokemon is going to be Togepi. Now watch this. You won't see this anywhere else. So I was like, you know what? They may go for Meteor Beam again. I think Cav might try and go for that to get another boost up here. Or maybe I should go for Curse. Like, if I can get a Focus Punch going. So let's give it a go. So I went for Focus Punch here. I'm tightening my focus. Now, keep watching, people. Keep watching. Here comes Ice Beam. I was like, oh, that's going to be super effective. So here comes Ice Beam. Does over half my health there. And I got Freeze Axe. I was like, you wouldn't believe it. So watch this, though. Watch this. I'm frozen. I'm letting it go. And now I get hit by the Sandstorm, right? Now watch this. So the Trick Room runs out. Now I pick the Focus Punch. He goes, like, I've got nothing to lose. So watch this, right? I tighten my focus. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm ready to thaw out, right? This is good, you know? This is good. So now Omanyte's going to go for another Meteor Beam. This time there's no Power Herb there, so I got to wait a turn. I was like, this is perfect. Here comes the big punch, you know? Big punch. And I got Frozen Solid. So the animation of tightening your focus, the whole thing of tightening your focus actually stops. Like, it just look at that. Like, I'm still frozen, but yet I can tighten my focus. That's so weird. That's so strange. I'm just sitting, I'm just hanging there motionlessly in air, just floating somehow. And then I just got turned to Scrambled Eggs. So that's the end of the Togetic right there, man. This is not going good. I'm getting like curb stopped by these baby Pokemon. So we're going to go into Absol now, and I absolutely can guarantee you that this changed the course of the battle. So I've got Focus Energy, which I'm not going to set up against the Omanyte because it's got +2 in special attack. And, Omanyte's got good special attack, so I have to take this out in one shot. It's got to be this is a Desperation Dynamax. That's right, yeah, so I feel like I can easily take it out, though, because it is special Absol, I know, but Omanyte's not very bulky, so that should be pretty good, especially on the, the special side to it. If I get a critical hit, more the merrier, you know what I'm saying? So we've got no Trickery up now, so I know that Absol will be going first. I went for Max Darkness, which is going to come off the Dank Pulse there, and that is going to the end of Omanyte. Also, Omanyte took prior damage earlier on to my Pidov's Fly, Pidove absolute unit. So, next Pokemon is going to be Hippopotas. We've seen this earlier. I was like, well, I should be able to take this out. I'm not really sure if it's got Everlight or not. I wasn't really sure what item it actually had. I thought Everlight, but I wasn't 100%. So, we got Max Darkness again. Like, let's go for Max Darkness. We'll take the Hippo out. Now there's going to be a swap. It's like, okay, what Pokemon's going to come in here? It's going to be Bulbasaur. My bulb is sore. So, Bulbasaur's going to swap in here, right? It's like, well, I don't know if I'll take Bulbasaur in one shot. It should do a fair bit of damage there. That just shows you how bad Absol's special attack is. It fails to take the Bulbasaur out. So that's the end of my Dynamax right there. So yeah, I used it on the Omanyte. Wait, no, this is my last turn. So I decided to go for Max Mindstorm Galaxy Brain, and that's going to put up the Psychic Terrain on the field, which is going to be very, very good there. If I did use Future Sight, it will power up the move Future Sight, which is really, really cool right there. I'm not sure if you knew that one. The more you know, right? So that's the end of Bulbasaur. It pretty much was a meat shield right there. Next Pokemon to come out, I was thinking it was going to be maybe Yanmask. I was like, yeah, and they're coming in. I was like, okay, Yanmask. Right, fair enough. So that's the end of my Dynamax. Now it's like, well, I've got Dunk Pulse here. Let's go for that. So go for Dunk Pulse on Yanmask. Yanmask has got good defense, but its special defense is garbage, and I'm going to take it out. That's very, very good. So bye-bye. Now, the match is starting to even up now. So I've taken out 3 Pokemon with Absol. Next Pokemon is Solosis. And Solosis is going to, probably be quite bulky with Everlight, so I didn't expect it to KO. And it did great damage, and I also got a flinch on top of that. That was definitely setting up another Trick Room there, and I would have been in a world of pain if that happened. So I'm going to get a lucky crit there, a lucky flinch, and that's the end of Solosis. So thank you very much there for that lucky flinch. I guess it makes up for that Freeze Axe before, when I used the Focus Punch and I tightened my focus. I was very excited because I thought I wasn't frozen anymore, but then I was frozen and I had to let it go. So go for the Dank Pulse on the Hippopotas, doesn't take it out, and Hippopotas just lives and gets a superpower off, ending my Absol sweep there. I was very, very close. So bye-bye Absol, but man, it actually got me right back into this battle. So that's the end of that. I've got 2 more Pokemon left. The weirdness has disappeared too. It's good when the weirdness disappears. Now I can go into Unfezant. So this is going to be pretty unpleasant. So go for Air Cut here on the Hippopotas, and that's going to be enough to take it out. I would have been so salty if that missed, and then Hippopotas went for a Rock Slide and critted me and taken me out. Like, I expect those sort of things, and you know, as you've watched my videos over the years, well, if you have, you know that sort of stuff happens. So next Pokemon's going to be Silicopra. I actually have to do a Silicopra sweep, so I've nearly done all the Generation 8 Pokemon. Like, I've done every fully evolved, and a lot of the middle ones, so I've only got like a handful of Gen 8 Pokemon sweeps I want to finish before Gen 9 comes out. Okay, so biggest, littlest snake in the world here. Now, I'm not really sure if this has a Rock-type move at all, because actually, if you look at my team, when you think about it, most of my team, they're Pidove, Tranquil, Togetic, Unfezant, Token, they're all weak to Rock-type moves. I was like, wow, like, so I wonder if this has a Rock move. Obviously, it doesn't, because it's going to go for Max Strike. So Max Strike's going to drop my speed. And since it is a Trick Room team, I'm thinking, well, I don't know if that's going to matter too much. I believe that it's going to need like a couple more of that, or maybe that was the best attack that it actually had. I wasn't really sure what move that came off per se. So go for Air Cutter again on Silicopra, and Silicopra's going to get critted again, and it's Sand Spit is going to activate too. So this team was like a Trick Room and Sand team, as you can see. Considering how Bulbasaur actually fitted into this team, not really sure what Bulbasaur's role was there. Maybe he was using like Weather Ball or something like that. Anyway, we got a Max Wormwind here on the Silicopra. Go for my Unfezant, and that is not going to take it out. So Unfezant is going to be able to fire off one more Air Cutter against the Silicopra, but since it's in Dynamax, you know, it's not going to be enough to take it out. But I still got my Togekiss in the bait. So go for my final Air Cut here, getting another crit there. And a question of the day, how many crits did I get in both battles? So I asked this at the end of the video because that way you wouldn't be able to cheese it and do it from the start. So that's the end of my Unfezant. I doubt anyone's going to go back and watch this video again and count them, but if you do, I'm going to drop a heart on your comment, all right? I'm not, you wouldn't get this from any other guy. So next Pokemon to come out here is going to be my Togekiss, and I'm going to finish this battle off here with a Draining Kiss. Sometimes you got to kiss the snake, and that, my friends, is the end of the battle with the Super Luck Ability team. Hope you really enjoyed this. I'll be back with some more uploads tomorrow, and I'll catch you next time. Stay lucky.